The greatest paradox of human psychology is that we only desire what we cannot easily have. Welcome back to Deep Tales. Today we are breaking down the unspoken laws of psychological scarcity. These are the dark principles that turn you from someone who constantly begs for attention into the person everyone is desperate to please. Rule number 1, the access restriction. In a world where everyone is constantly available, true power belongs to the ghost. Stop being the person who answers every phone call on the first ring or replies to text messages within seconds. When you make yourself too accessible, your time becomes cheap and your presence becomes boring. Force people to wait for your attention. Let your phone ring out occasionally. When you finally do reply, offer no explanations or excuses for your delay. This sudden mystery forces their brain to constantly think about you, wondering where you are and who you are with. Absence creates obsession. Rule number 2, the selective secret. If you want to build intense suspense and make someone completely dependent on your words, use the art of the open loop. In the middle of a serious conversation, pause, look at them with sudden intensity and say, "There is something very important I need to tell you about how people perceive you, but we should talk about it later when we have more time." Then, immediately change the subject and refuse to give details. Their subconscious mind will enter a state of panic, running every possible scenario in their head. They will look for your approval and text you repeatedly just to close that mental loop. Control the information, control the peace of mind. Rule number 3, the unmoved anchor. When someone tries to test your boundaries or make you jealous by talking about someone else, never show emotional disruption. The weakest thing you can do is show anger or curiosity. Instead, maintain absolute stone-faced silence. Act completely unimpressed, look them straight in the eyes, and give a tiny dismissive nod before moving on. By showing that their attempts to shake you have zero effect on your mood, you completely reverse the power dynamic. They will realize that your emotional stability cannot be manipulated, and they will respect you out of subconscious fear. Rule number 4, the finite value. Never over-explain your decisions or justify your boundaries to anyone. When you tell someone no, let that single word stand on its own as a complete sentence. The moment you start giving long excuses or explaining why you cannot do something, you are subconsciously begging for their understanding and putting them in a position of authority over you. A high-value individual sets a boundary and expects the world to adapt to it. The psychological framework of power belongs only to those who can master their own reactions and restrict their supply. If you are ready to shatter the illusion, step out of the shadows, and finally master the high-level laws of human behavior before the rest of the world catches on. Make sure to unlock the deeper matrix by subscribing to the channel, sharing this video with someone who needs a wake-up call, and leaving your thoughts in the comments below. Which rule are you implementing today? Let me know.